Two teams trying to jostle for position in the Central Conference clash today under the arch in St. Louis. Good evening, XFL Nation, and welcome to Budweiser Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri for today's clash between the Oklahoma City Renegades and the St. Louis Gladiators. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Turillo. With me in the booth today is Levant Mercer. Good afternoon, Levant.
Good afternoon, Michael. You're seeing a tale of two teams here who have signed new players this week. Hopeful to see what they do out here.
Both teams coming off a loss last week in conference play. The Gladiators 1-1, the Renegades 0-2. We're going to send you down to the field for the coin toss, and then we'll get right into the game. The Gladiators 1-1, the Renegades 0-2. We're going to send you down to the field for the coin toss, and then we'll get right into the game. The Gladiators will get the ball to start the game. So kicker, number 3, Johnny Omega for the Oklahoma City Renegades has the ball on the tee. The Gladiators will get the ball to start the game. The ball is in the air and it's game on here in St. Louis. Ball taken to the 10-yard line, up to the 20 and up to the 25 where he's met by the defense. And out trots the St. Louis Gladiators offense. And we'll run you through that offense. The quarterback is number 12, Ethan Alexander. The running back is number 23, Denzel Diaz. The wide receivers are number 11, Nick Finch, number 81, Cody Scott, and the tight end is number 87, Elijah Swaim. First play from scrimmage sees Alexander under center. He drops back to pass, short drop, floats it out over the middle. That pass is caught, complete, and a tackle is broken. There goes Elijah Swaim. First play from scrimmage, and he scores! Put it on the board, St. Louis. 6-0 after only 15 seconds.
It looks as if they were expecting a run in that first play there. So what happened here is they had very limited coverage on the receivers, expecting a run play, and they just got burnt deep. I think that rookie free safety just got wrecked on that play too.
Elijah Swaim, that's his first touchdown of the season. It was good for 74 yards. And the kicker, Graham Northrup, is on to attempt the extra point. That was so fast, I didn't even get to tell you about the Oklahoma City defense. And I guess we'll get you them when they're next on the field. I also didn't get to my first key to the game. When St. Louis is on offense, the offense has got to produce more points than they've been doing in the past two games. The defense has been solid for the Gladiators, but a little bit overworked, which led to their second half collapse last week. When St. Louis is on offense, the offense has got to produce more points than they've been doing in the past two games. The defense has been solid for the ball in the air, received to the 10-yard line, up to the 20, up to the 30, and then number 15, Brock Manley, is hauled down at the 31-yard line. Here is the Oklahoma City offense. The quarterback is number 19, Deacon Nickens. The running back is number 27, Dunk Bonkers. The wide receivers are number 11, Stephen Bush, and number 17, Deezer Powell. The tight end is number 81, Jalen Hurt, and number 89, Tiberius Bovine. First play from scrimmage, Deacon Nickens steps back in the pocket, pressure in his face. He swings it out quick to Dunk Bonkers, and Bonkers will stretch toward the pylon, but be just short, pushed out of bounds, and it'll be second down and 1. Tiberius Bovine. First play from scrimmage, Deacon Nickens. The key to the game for the Oklahoma City Renegades on offense is they've been probably the best team in the league between the 20-yard lines this season. They've moved the ball well, but somehow when they get in the red zone, and I'll finish it after this play, is Nickens steps in the pocket, throws across the middle, and a tackle is missed in the secondary. Oh my goodness, Tiberius Bovine scores! Put it on the board, it's a tie game! Pending the extra point after less than a minute has gone off the clock.
You can see here, Tiberius Bovine just runs a beautiful route here. Clears well away from his coverage here and just, hold on.
Number 31, that's Nick Gaggs, the strong safety, completely missed that tackle right as Bovine caught the ball, and then there was nobody else in front of him, but he scampered in. Johnny Omega, the kicker, attempting the extra point to try and tie this game up. And it is good. Your score with 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Renegades 7, the Gladiators 7. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. We ask you to, everybody in the audience, to please be patient with us. We're still working on a few technical difficulties here in the booth as we get this next series underway with a kickoff from Johnny Omega. Taking at the 10, up to the 20, 25, 30, 35. And 86, that's Jacob Swaim. I'm assuming brother of Elijah Swaim will get out to the 35-yard line. It's a good starting position for the Gladiators offense. The Gladiators looking sharp today. Gold helmets, green jerseys, gold pants with white numbers and gold trim. Alexander under center. He'll throw on first down. Just a little dump off over the middle to Swaim. He's got both passes for the Gladiators so far. And it'll be second down and 7. For the Oklahoma City Renegades on defense, they got to get pressure on Alexander and force him to make quick decisions and move in the pocket. Haven't really seen much of that, although they've been 2 offensive plays so far. This time there's pressure on him. He gets the ball out to Diaz, and Diaz is stopped up after only a gain of 1. Excuse me, that was not Diaz. That was the fullback, Lucky Steck. Third down and 6. First real danger situation for the Gladiators on offense from their own 39-yard line. Alexander drops back. Pressure coming. Gets the pass away. It's out there. Oh, boy. Finch had the ball in his hands, but he got drilled as he tried to make the catch. So out comes Jack Kissinger, the punter, for the first time today for the Gladiators. Back deep to receive punts today for the Oklahoma City Renegades is Deezer Powell. And the kick from Kissinger hangs in the air all the way just shy of the 25-yard line. And Powell's running the wrong way back to the 23. Great punt coverage there by the Gladiators as they pin the Renegades deep. First down and 10. Deacon Nickens under center with Bonkers in the backfield. 2 wide receivers near side. They'll give it to Bonkers on first down, and he's blown up in the backfield. Good defensive push there from, that was 32. Longstreet on the tackle. And it'll be second down and 12. They'll go same formation with 2 receivers near side. And Nickens under center. Here's another give to Bonkers, and he gets stopped up after a gain of only 1. 3rd down at 11. Aiden Friday makes that tackle. Now a passing situation, and there's still only 2 wideouts with a tight end to the left side with Nickens under center. Deacon Nickens drops back to throw. Quickly gets it out to the far side. That pass is called in. And getting out past the 1st down marker is Deezer Powell. Good catch and good conversion on 3rd down and long. There are 2 players, 1 for each side, making their SFL debut in this game. I will shout them out when they make a contribution. Nickens sidearms it out there. That pass is caught over the middle for a gain of 9 yards. Bovine made that tackle. Nope, that's Jalen Hurt, the other tight end, coming out of the left side of the formation. Second down and 1, so from going backwards on the first set of downs to now, 2nd and really manageable. Here's Donk Bonkers off the left side. Gets met with contact just shy of the 50-yard line, and he'll go down at the 49 after picking up a 1st down.
It appeared the defense shifted late on that one and didn't know where the run was headed.
Good to have you back, Levant. 1st down and 10, just shy of midfield for the blue helmet, white jerseys, and blue pants with red and gold trim of the Oklahoma City Renegades. Nickens, long drop, pressure coming, throws out there, wide open over the middle is Jalen Hurt, the tight end. That's about a mirror image of a play we saw a couple of plays ago. And it, again, goes for 9 yards, 2nd down and 1.
I think that's the exact same result, too. Right through the middle, through the zone there.
2nd down and 1. Bonkers alone in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. He'll run right side, and he's tackled short of the 1st down marker. Big number 70, Manny Eisenhower, the defensive tackle, came up and made that stop. It'll be 3rd down and 1. I did not ever go through the St. Louis defense. I'll do that right now. The safeties are number 21, Freeman Peltier. Number 31, Nick Daggs. The corners are number 24, Aaron Arrington, and number 25, Colin Douglas. The linebackers are number 55, Aiden Friday. The defensive ends are 67, Scott LaRue, and Manny Eisenhower. Delayed handoff, and going nowhere is Donk Bonkers as a whole host of green jerseys combined to make that tackle. Aiden Friday led the bunch. Now they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2, or maybe even just try to draw the Gladiator defense offside. 2 receivers near side, Donk Bonkers behind the under center, Deacon Nickens. And they will call the timeout. We see that a lot in this league, that if you get it on 4th and short, they'll look to draw them offside and then just call timeout and waste early timeouts that could really be important if this comes down to a 1 or 2 possession game at the end of the half.
I don't understand it myself. I mean, trying to get an early 1st down would be sensible later in the game, but I don't understand it ever this early.
Punter Ethan Ellis is on the field, and that one almost got blocked. They're just going to look to pin the Gladiators deep here. It goes down to the 10, down to the 5, and stops at the 7-yard line. Good punt coverage by the Renegades. For the Oklahoma City defense, before they trot out onto the field, the free safety is number 43, Brady Clark, in his first SFL game. And number 31, Al Clint. The corners are number 21, Von Seniuk, and number 34, Aaron Sutton. The linebackers are number 58, Day Drury, and the defensive end is number 97, Mandrake Perp. As George got in the backfield there.
So Kobe,
Oh,
I think
Kobe, excuse me.
The center just gave up on that play.
Second down and 14 from inside their own 5. I formation with 2 wideouts to the left side of Ethan Alexander, who's under center. He'll hand it to Diaz. Diaz tries to fight forward and won't get farther than the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 14.
I don't even know where the offensive line was. Plays. They were asleep or something.
It's a bad time to go out to lunch when you're backed up into the shadow of your own end zone. 3rd down and 14 now. Handoff, Diaz. And they're just going to try and get a little bit of separation before they inevitably have to punt, but they only get 1 yard. And Jack Kissinger will be punting from well inside his own end zone. With his back foot almost on the line, Kissinger gets it away with no pressure. But that'll be fielded inside the 40 and up to the 34-yard line of St. Louis. Perfect field position now for the Renegades on this next drive.
I would like to apologize for what has been happening earlier. I should be back now, hopefully, and hope to have a great game from here.
1st down and 10. From the 34-yard line of the St. Louis Gladiators. Gladiators will stack the box. Nickens, but they only rush 3. Nickens steps up in the pocket and still goes down. They rushed 3, and down went Nickens. Loss of 3 yards. What a play by Mo Biggins, the defensive tackle.
I feel like that was a rookie mistake there. I think he had more time than he thought, didn't know where he was, and just landed right into the defensive tackle there.
2nd down and 13. Quick swing out to Bonkers. He's got no blockers in front of him and will fight forward for about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 9. I have written down here in my notes that this game will definitely be won or lost on the arm of Deacon Nickens. Last week he threw 61 times. And he completed 34 of those for 377 yards. Another 3-man front, and down goes Deacon Nickens again. The offensive line is not doing their job, and from the St. Louis 34-yard line, they didn't get anywhere. And it'll have to be a field goal attempt.
I'm still waiting for the day one of these teams stars linemen on the offensive side.
Back at the 50, they're actually going to punt instead of try the long field goal. Fair catch will be called for and made at the 13-yard line. So, 7-7, almost after the first minute and a half of this game. Took like 5 minutes. The rest of the quarter has gone real fast with no good scoring chances for either team.
Seems like inconsistency is continuing to affect these teams. Even now.
1st down and 10. Defensive line shifts to the right. Heavy set. Alexander, short drop, throw over the middle. That pass is complete to Swaim, and he gets 9 yards. In a mirror image of the play we've seen Oklahoma City run early in this ballgame. We've got a score update from you from Queen City and Tallahassee. 2nd quarter, 9:29 to go. Tallahassee 10, Queen City 7. And a running back, Diaz, will pound forward for 2 yards and a 1st down up to the 24-yard line.
I don't know if it seems like it to you, but I feel like both defenses are stepping away from the blitz after what happened early on.
Definitely dropping more people in coverage. Don't want to be burned in one-on-one. On the outside. First down and 10. Alexander in the shotgun. Delayed handoff up the middle to Diaz, and Diaz is generously given the line of scrimmage is where he got back to as Irvine came up and laid the wood on him.
I'm supposing for the rest of the game they're going to be relying on line play.
Second down and 10 for the Gladiators. Same formation as on first down. Alexander drops back to pass. Good pocket form as he fires that over the field, and wide open behind the defense is Cody Scott, dragging it a defender to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. He scores. Put it on the board. St. Louis scores another long touchdown.
Looks as if the corner just got burned on the play and never got time to recover. His acceleration came a little too late there.
Look at Cody Scott dragging Von Seniuk, who was the corner that got burned all the way for about 5 or 6 yards. It seems that these teams can't score a touchdown if they're inside their own half. 3 long scores so far. Score update for you from Atlanta and Sioux Falls. Atlanta 7, Sioux Falls 3, 6:41 to go second quarter. As the kick from Graham Northrup is up and good with 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's the St. Louis Gladiators 14, the Oklahoma City Renegades 7. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. That was Cody Scott's first touchdown of the season. He had 6 receptions for 60 yards last week.
Good to see both offenses really kicking up the heat here. Whereas the last couple of weeks for both of these teams, there have been times where they've just been in the mire and couldn't get through the red zone. So avoiding the red zone entirely seems to be what has helped both of these teams so far.
There'll be one more play in this afternoon's first quarter as Deacon Nickens lines up from the 29-yard line with 2 seconds to go. He'll drop back to pass. He rifles it over the middle. That pass is caught. Bounces to the 50-yard line, and a good job hanging on to the football as he got drilled. Was that who was that on the catch? Couldn't tell there. That was Deezer Powell coming across to make the hit was Aiden Friday. That's the end of the first quarter. We've got a good one on our hands. Could be a shootout. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Stay with us. We will start the second quarter from just about midfield. Tiberius Bovine has a catch, has a touchdown, but no other input aside from that. Heavy set with tight ends to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right, and an under center Deacon Nickens. Oh, again! The offensive line can't hold the pocket, and down he goes, a loss of 8 yards. That's just a great individual play by Chad Longstreet. Watch, he's gonna just fight through the blocker and drag Deacon Nickens down.
I did say this game is going to be determined by line play, and there we have it again.
Now on second down and 18. The Renegades are going to need a little bit of a prayer here to get a first down. Short drop, and he's actually going to take off and run, and he fumbles the football! And it looks like the ball is still loose. Who's going to get on top of it? It's a scramble. And it looks like number 0, Dalton Otto, the center, jumped on the football for the Renegades after Deacon Nickens coughed it up at the 48-yard line. It'll be third down at 11. Nickens in the gun. Next to him is Dunk Bonkers, and he unloads it. Oh, what a catch! Diving and sprawling down to the 31-yard line. Steven Bush, first catch of the game, and it's a big one.
He started finally realizing that the defense keeps shading over the same side.
And that wasn't bad coverage by the secondary. It was just a really well-thrown ball by Nickens. First down and 10 now for the Renegades from the St. Louis 31-yard line. Nickens, short drop, quick throw out to the near side. He's got Powell, and Powell has got 6 yards before being driven backwards by Colin Douglas, the corner. Score updates for you. We got 2 of them. Second quarter, 8:34 to go. Tallahassee 17, Queen City 7. And second quarter, 3 minutes to go. Atlanta 7, Sioux Falls 6. Nickens drops back. This time the pocket is good. He got hit as he released the ball, but he still got it out there to Seniuk, and Seniuk couldn't make the first down. As the defense rose to meet him, it'll be 3rd down and 1.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Renegades do now that they're in the red zone for the first time. Against Sioux Falls, they had a couple issues when they got down here.
Here's the give on 3rd and 1 to Bonkers, and he is blown up in the backfield. They said he got back to the line of scrimmage. That's a very generous spot. Great play by Kilroy Kalua to come up and make the play, and it's going to be just a field goal chance here for the OKC Renegades. I remember last week, Levant, you almost were prophetic in some of your play calls, as this one is up and right down Main Street. The OKC Renegades go to double digits. It's 14-10 St. Louis with 7:53 to play in the first half. And you said they struggled in the red zone last week, and then first time to the red zone this week, they're struggling again.
And to add on to that, it's been line play that has held them up on that red zone try there. Seems like their offensive line is still out to lunch. The coach needs to have a talk with them now off the field.
10, 15, 20, 25, up to the 30-yard line on the return. Good return there by Jacob Swaim. And the St. Louis Gladiators will start at the 31-yard line as they try to increase their lead. I noticed something last week when I was looking over the film of St. Louis. They threw a lot of swing passes out to Diaz as Alexander is forced to step up into the pocket, throws over the middle. That pass is complete to a diving Nick Finch, as it's good for 6 yards. It didn't really work, and I've seen that they've taken a lot of those swing passes and short slants out of their game in favor of going down the field more.
It seems to have been working really well in this game, putting 14 points up on those deep balls.
Second down and 4. Alexander under center, takes the snap, hands to Diaz, and there is no protection for Denzel Diaz. He's going down. Al Clint makes the tackle, and it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Keep talking about line play, Levant. We're seeing it again there. This poor offensive line play costs St. Louis a good shot on 2nd down. Now forces a 3rd down and it's only slightly manageable. Alexander throwing far side, coming back to make the catch, and he's out of bounds. Oh, Cody Scott had the ball in his hands, but he couldn't drag the feet, and it'll be 4th down.
I'm glad they didn't play because both feet were clearly out of bounds, unfortunately.
Dwayne Schindler does point out a good point in the chat. That was Nick Finch's first SFL catch This is his first SFL game as he was signed in free agency this week. So congratulations to Nick Finch. Punt is away from Jack Kissinger. Fielded just shy of the 30-yard line. Oh, what a spin move. And up past the 40 to the 42 goes Deezer Powell.
Quite a few teams have added players this week, in the hopes that they will be more active within their teams, or simply because they wanted to change things up.
1st and 10 for the Renegades, down by 4, 6:35 to go, second quarter. Here from a beautiful January day in St. Louis. Handoff goes to, oh, there he goes. There goes. It's Donk Bonkers down the sideline. All the way inside the 10 to the 9-yard line into the SFL presented by APM Music Red Zone.
Speaking
Bonkers doing just that.
Speaking about line play again, I guess that talk they've had worked. Do you see a couple pancakes there, and Bonkers is just going bonkers down the line here.
Great touchdown saving tackle there by Colin Douglas, who raced after Bonkers all the way down the field. But now, it's another red zone chance for the Renegades here. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. 2 receivers left side. Nicken stands in the pocket, throws the swing pass to Bonkers, and Bonkers will get 1 yard as he's flattened by Douglas again. This time, Douglas combining with Freeman Peltier.
Taking a couple plays out of the Gladiators playbook, but, you know, those plays didn't work for them. Why run them?
They'll flip the formation on 2nd down and goal. 2 receivers right side, and so is Bonkers in the backfield. They'll split out that way over the middle. That pass is complete. Good catch by Powell. No, so excuse me, that was Stephen Bush. Bush gets down to the 4-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and goal. At some point, you got to just throw it into the green. Into the end zone green, I mean. Third and goal from the 4. Nickens in the shotgun with Bonkers. Nickens to throw. He goes. Oh, and stepping out of bounds was Jalen Hurt. He couldn't turn upfield, and it's 4th down and goal after the loss of 1.
Returning to what you said earlier, there was a receiver open in the red zone green. Are they afraid of it or something? I do not know, but confidence is low when they get to the red zone.
Gonna have to settle for another kick here. Good for them. Johnny Omega hasn't missed one yet today. This one from just a chip shot from about 20 yards. And the kick is right down Main Street. It's a 1-point game, second quarter, 4:36 to go. St. Louis 14, Oklahoma City 13. And we've seen now St. Louis have the lead and have a couple chances to increase that lead and just haven't been able to move it down the field. What do you think's been going wrong for them on offense, apart from the drives where they get the big play?
I feel as though they don't quite mix it up well enough, and I start to think that Oklahoma City has started to download what it is that they're doing. They're going to go for it big on 3rd or 1st, and it goes safe on 2nd.
Swaim gets that return up to the 28-yard line. Ethan Alexander comes on out again. He starts this drive under center with 2 in the backfield behind him. He'll give it to Diaz on 1st down, and Diaz gets 1 yard before running into a lot of white jerseys at the line of scrimmage.
Another thing to add is both teams haven't really gotten the running game going outside of that one big play from Donk Bonkers for the Renegades.
And that's because both offensive lines, I think, have just not really shown up today. We've got a lot of sacks so far, a lot of tackles for loss, quarterbacks under pressure. Second down and 9. Alexander, short drop, floats it out far side. That pass is complete to Cody Scott, and he will put the football over the pylon as he goes out of bounds. First down up to the 39. Another score update for you. Tallahassee running away with it. Tallahassee 24, Queen City 7, 2:32 left second quarter. First down now for the Gladiators. Just shy of their own 40-yard line. 3 wide receivers for Alexander to aim at. He'll go short to Diaz out of the backfield, and Diaz will pick up 2 yards.
We were talking about things like swing plays earlier, but since they've been going deep on first and third, adding it to the game may work here.
We've got our first game to reach halftime. Halftime, Atlanta 10, Sioux Falls 6. Back in this one, there's still 3 minutes till halftime. Alexander, good pocket, throws deep, pass cut inside the 30-yard line. Is that Cody Scott again? He's been huge today.
Yes, he has. And there it goes right over the coverage again. They keep expecting it underneath, and they keep getting blown up top.
And now Von Seniak, I think that's 2 or 3 times now, he's been beat by Cody Scott. We're going to have to continue to watch that one-on-one matchup for the rest of the afternoon. Alexander under center with an offset eye behind him. 2 receivers to his right. He'll hand it off to Diaz, and Diaz breaks 1 tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage and falls forward. They'll give him 1 yard up to the 27-yard line as Jarek Pounds, the linebacker, comes up and makes the tackle.
It seems as if no matter what side they try to run on, that offensive line has been letting them down all game.
Almost halftime between Carolina and London. Carolina 10, London nothing. The Knights looking to repeat their form from last week against Vancouver as Diaz gets the ball again and gets 2 more yards up to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
We get into the
Go ahead.
I was saying, as we reach the 2-minute warning, I feel as though they're going to have to start running some stretch plays and get away from the line if they're going to run the ball more.
Gotta agree with you. Trips to the near side for Alexander under center with Diaz behind him on 3rd down and 7. Alexander drops back, goes far side. He's got one-on-one coverage, but overthrew the receiver. Elijah Swain was out there, but he had no chance to make the catch. It was also very good one-on-one coverage by the secondary from Oklahoma City. It'll force what I'm assuming will be a field goal try. Graham Northrup will set up, and it looks to be about maybe a 42-yarder. Snap is down, the hold is good, and it is right down Main Street. Neither of the kickers have missed yet today from any distance. And with 1:53 left to go in the first half, it's St. Louis 17, Oklahoma City 13. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. And the kickoff goes. And is returned from just inside the 5-yard line up to the 25, and that's where he will go down the spot. Brock Manley at the 26-yard line. Dwayne Schindler, Christian Punt, Michael Irvine, Random Stuff, D. Powell, Ronnie Nickens, Colin Northrup, Hayden Friday, and everybody else watching. We thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with us right here on the SFL Network. First down and 10 for the Renegades. Handoff goes to Bonkers. He's got a big hole right up the middle. He's got a first down and a little bit more. excuse me, up to the 38-yard line. Nobody touched him until he got about 10 yards downfield.
I think whatever the coaches told that offensive line, it seems to have been working, and they've been stepping up their play since the first.
So they'll reset the chain. Nickens looking left side. That pass is caught. And they'll go up tempo here as Bovine hauled in that catch but then fell to the ground. Irvine swing pass. Bonkers, and he's going to lose a yard, and Oklahoma City will burn their second timeout. Remember, they used one in the first quarter trying to get St. Louis to jump off sides, and could that hurt them here as they come down to a minute 2 to go in the first half?
I feel as though it will. As I said earlier, this would have been the time they would have needed it, and now they don't have it. And they're so far away still.
Crowd chants defense. It's been a great crowd here on hand at Budweiser Stadium. The Gladiators crowd the line. They'll rush a lot. A quick throw out from Nickens gets a first down past midfield up to the 49-yard line. They'll continue to roll up tempo. A heavy set. 2 receivers far side, 1 to the near. It looks like it's just going to be man coverage on the outside. Nickens, short pass, Bonkers. He'll lose a yard all the way back to the Oklahoma City 49. Second down and 12 now. Short drop for Nickens over the middle. That pass is tipped to the air. Oh, and it was through the hands of a couple of green jerseys. Aiden Friday got the tip, and then one of the non-contract players almost pulled down the interception. That'll stop the clock. With 29 seconds to go, it'll be a third down and 12 at the Oklahoma City 49-yard line. Chance to breathe a little bit here. Nickens under pressure, throws. Oh, he underthrew that one. It almost was picked off again. Big play there by, I think it was Nick Daggs, the safety, came up to try and make the play.
Honestly, don't agree with most of these play calls on this drive. I haven't been going to the sticks to cut down on time. They went to a weird screenplay that was going nowhere, and they underthrew a ball. I don't get what's going on.
Well, the Gladiators are going to get the ball back with 24 seconds at all 3 timeouts. Whoa, they almost got to that punt, too. Caught just past the 10-yard line, and that's about as far as Nick Daggs will get. He gets to the 15-yard line, 16 seconds to go. More scoring from the Tallahassee Queen City game. It's Tallahassee running away with it, 31-7 with 37 seconds left in the first half. That is not how I saw that game going. Ethan Alexander, 16 seconds, 3 timeouts, but they just look like they're going to play for halftime as Diaz runs up the middle for 5 yards. The clock will run with under 10 seconds, and we will head into the half. It's been a great first half. It's 17 Gladiators, Renegades 13. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
Don't miss the SFL podcast every Saturday night at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch before the league's weekend slate gets kicked off. Join me, Mighty RX, defending champion team owner Ramos Lynn, and our host, Jack Brown, to break down all the headlines in the SFL. Jack, yeah, I know we gotta move on. Calm down. See you there, everybody.
Welcome back to Budweiser Stadium here in St. Louis, Missouri. It's been a great game so far. 17-13, the Gladiators up on top. Michael Cirillo, Levant Mercer with me in the booth, calling this one for you. Levant, as we go into the second half, give me a quick rundown. What does each team need to do to come out on top in this game?
St. Louis is going to have to keep time on their side and run down this clock a little bit and not give Nickens time on the ball, because once this is his half, the second half, going into the Renegades now, is when he starts turning it up, usually. So,
continue.
Usually, this is the half where he starts getting a little comfortable and starts throwing it more downfield and makes things happen. So that's what the Renegades need to hope on.
Nickens under center on first down. Short drop. Looks and that was almost intercepted. Batted to the turf with vengeance by Kilroy Kalua, who's had a couple big tackles and now a big bat down there. Both quarterbacks had over 150 yards passing in the first half. So that just sort of speaks to the nature of this game. Neither team had really any running going. The Gladiators had only 6 yards on the ground in the first. Here's the give to Bonkers on second down and 10, and he fights forward for a yard. He's averaging about just over 7 yards per carry on the day. Kilroy Kalua made another tackle. Third down and 9 now. Throwing position for Nickens and the Oklahoma City offense. Nickens, with time, throws near side, goes to the sticks, but, I think he dropped it. No, he didn't. No, Tiberius Bovine did make the catch, but he could not stress over the sticks. It'll be fourth down and a punt coming for the Renegades.
Gladiators need to continue containing that offense to short plays like that and not allow Nickens to get comfortable, because once he does, you'll see some things happen.
Ethan Ellis looking to pin the Gladiators deep. He gets the ball away. It hangs in the air. Caught just shy of the 30, and just shy of the 30 is where he will stay. It'll be first down and 10 for the Gladiators from the 29-yard line.
They almost blocked the punt again, really. They've been at least 1 second off from doing it twice.
You know, how many times have you actually seen blocked punts in this league? It's not very often.
Not good.
Alexander, quick throw across the middle. That pass is complete down towards the first down marker. They're going to mark Cody Scott just short. Second down and inches.
It's from Cody Scott again, making plays. Almost breaking that tackle there, but he keeps... think that corner again. It's the same one we've been talking about, getting blown.
That would be Von Senia. And yeah, that's been the matchup to watch on the outside all night. See if they get matched up against each other again here. Can't really tell. He's in that bunch formation to the far side. That'll be to Alexander's right on second down and inches. Here's Diaz. Only needs to move the chains. He will. With a spin move, he breaks free. Out to the 30. Oh, he's got the 25. Oh, and down he goes just shy of the 25 or the 26-yard line. Denzel Diaz says, "Hey, Dunk Bunkers, I can do it too."
It seems as if these teams are just going tit for tat every time. It's like, okay, you throw a long touchdown, I'll throw a long touchdown. You go for a long run? Bet, let's do it too.
That'll flip the field pretty much now to the Oklahoma City 26-yard line. Alexander under center, offset eye, 2 receivers to his left. 4 down linemen. The Renegades will hand it off to Diaz, and Diaz breaks through a couple of tackles, then falls forward for 4 yards on first down. 2nd down and 6 from the Oklahoma City 22 upcoming.
It seems as though the line for the Gladiators has also settled down. Maybe a little later than the Renegades line, but finally.
I think some calming words at halftime from the coach. Calm everyone down a little bit. It's still anybody's game here with just over 8 minutes left to go in the third. And Diaz tried to run it again, and he didn't get anywhere. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Cole Irvine coming up to make the stop. Ethan Alexander, 221 yards in just over 2 quarters. Mammoth stat line for him today. Alexander throws far side. That pass is complete. Nick Finch gets a 1st down. Rookie making plays. It'll be 1st and 10 inside the SFL red zone, presented by APM Music, at the 14-yard line.
Gladiators here seem to have been playing better in the red zone. Sure, this may have been their first trip, but they got a 1st down in there.
Alexander in the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Here's pressure, and down he goes. There was nobody open for Ethan Alexander to throw to. And Mandrake Perp, first time we've called his name today, the defensive end comes up and makes the sack.
Didn't even look like the tackle was really even trying that play. Kind of grabbed his arm there. Lucky that wasn't holding. And just let him by.
Now 2nd down and 15 all the way back at the 19-yard line. Alexander under center this time. He'll drop back to pass. Good pocket. Throws near side. That pass is complete. Cody Scott gets up to the 13-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Seems like both teams are just settling for field goals when they get down here. That was a pass to the sticks. For what reason, I don't know.
They got one more shot at it. And if I was the St. Louis coaching staff, I'd draw something up for Nick Scott. He's been carrying the load all day in the passing game. Alexander in the gun. Good protection for him. Goes far side. And he led Cody Scott a little bit too far. He made the catch, but he couldn't turn upfield. It'll be 4th down at the 8-yard line, and out comes the kicking unit.
Yeah, you were reflecting some of those prediction skills yourself there. Went straight to Scott.
Good play draw up, but a kind of a poor throw from Ethan Alexander means that another field goal try from Graham Northrup. This one is up, and it's no good. Graham Northrup is the first kicker to miss a kick today, and the score will stay St. Louis 17, Oklahoma City 13.
I think the special teams unit kind of spooked him a bit. He might have saw the gunner come real close and maybe got a tip hand on it. Probably not.
We've got a score update for you. 3rd quarter. Tallahassee 31. Queen City has scored again, 14 for them. So maybe looking them out to come back in the 2nd half. Bonkers on 1st down. Gets arm tackled after a gain of 4 yards up to the 24-yard line.
I'm going to see a lot more running back plays in the 2nd half.
Empty backfield on 2nd down and 6. Then under center, Deacon Nickens. Nickens Big drop pressure coming, and down he goes. They sold out to the pass, and Manny Eisenhower was like, no thank you. I just think I'll take you down all the way back inside the 15-yard line.
This center's been involved in quite a bit. Covered a fumble and got wrecked by Eisenhower there.
3rd down and 15. Another no-back set for the Renegades. St. Louis show pressure, but only rushed 4. Nickens gets the pass away. That pass is caught, and up past the 1st down marker goes Jalen Hurt. Big play by the tight end up to the 36. Deacon Nickens solving his way out of a box there.
Not only that, but Hurt made up for some of those odd route running issues he's had earlier this day.
1st down and 10 up to the 36-yard line of the Oklahoma City Renegades. Bonkers back in the backfield this time. Another pocket collapsing, and down goes Nickens again. 11-yard loss this time. Is that Eisenhower again? You bet it is. 2nd sack in 3 plays. And going backwards, the Renegades are.
Bringing in his inner fats here.
Maybe sending a message to Alaska. Look out, there's a new big sexy in town. 2nd down and 21. Another empty set for Nickens. He'll take a long drop. Good pocket this time. That pass is in and out of the hands of Hurt because he got drilled right after he got his hands on the ball and couldn't hang on to it. 3rd down and 21. More score updates for you. Atlanta 10, Sioux Falls 9. A close one there with 40 seconds to go. Third down and 21. Let's see what they draw up here. Just got to go for it all. Nickens will go for it all in one-on-one coverage, and it's picked off! Brilliant play by Colin Douglas. And it's a Gladiator football at midfield.
You'll see here, just perfect one-on-one coverage. Stuck to him like rice. Timed the jump perfectly. Great play.
Colin Douglas last week didn't have an interception, has got one today. And right at midfield will Ethan Alexander start this drive from. Oh, he's going for it all. That's tipped and almost intercepted right back. Eric Sutton, the corner, knocked it almost into the hands of a fellow Renegade player.
And if he didn't do that, that would have been to the house. That would have definitely been another long touchdown.
2nd down right from midfield. Renegades taking a second to talk this next play over. 3 receivers in a bunch formation to the far side. Alexander's right, 1 to the left. Alexander's short drop over the middle. That pass is complete. And holding on through contact is Nick Finch. It'll be 3rd down and short.
Been doing a little well for himself today. Got a couple balls, held on to them. Good job there, Finch.
I'm sure Finch will be itching to get into the end zone for the first time in his career. Maybe that'll happen today. Maybe it'll happen next week. Alexander on 3rd down and 3. Long drop. Gets the pass away. Oh, and he overthrew the receiver, and a flag is down on the field.
Probably going to be defensive pass interference, but let's see.
He was looking for Cody Scott, who... Oh, let's see what the penalty is. Oh, it's against the offense. Flipping on the running back Denzel Diaz. And that negates a good St. Louis starting position right at midfield, but they didn't get anywhere.
Not only that, but that stops the clock, and that's something I said they can't have happen.
Jack Kissinger on to punt it away. He will kick this from about his own 45-yard line. And it's going to bounce to the 10, to the 5, and take a great gladiator bounce to the 4-yard line. What a kick there by Kissinger.
Went for the little backspin there just to make sure it would stay away from the end zone, too. Good punt.
Now with how the O-line for Oklahoma City looked on their last drive, the Gladiators might be thinking safety here as they line up with 7 in the box.
Is it him?
First down to Bonkers, and Bonkers goes backwards. Eisenhower again on the tackle. Back to the 3-yard line. OKC in the shadow of their own end zone.
And he's just eating them up all day. Lunch, breakfast, dinner, doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter the order.
Another run for Bonkers. He tries to stretch it to the left side, and wow! He got rocked. What a play by Aaron Arrington coming up to make the hit. I think that's the first time I've called his name today. But man, he really struck Bonkers down after only a gain of 2 yards. 3rd down and 9 from the 5. Passing situation, and this is where St. Louis might look to dial up some pressure. Nickens instead will hand it off to Bonkers, and Bonkers gets nowhere again.
I don't agree with that play call there. It didn't work the first 2 times. You're getting eaten up every time you run the ball. It's 3rd down.
That time it was Aiden Friday who made the tackle, and now punting from his own end zone is Ethan Ellis, and this will give the Gladiators some decent field position. Received at the 35-yard line and pushing forward to the 31. Great return there by Elijah Swaim. Or was that was Jacob Swaim, excuse me. Best starting position of the day for the Gladiators, as they look to increase their lead here with 1:57 to go, 3rd quarter. Alexander under center. 1 receiver each side with a split eye behind him. He took a short drop, and it was an even shorter time before Mandrake Perp got in the backfield and sacked him. Back to the 34-yard line. That's Perp's 2nd sack of the day. Now on 2nd down and 13, they'll go for the I formation, 2 receivers to Alexander's left. Alexander, a deeper drop this time. Hit as he throws, and it's almost intercepted by Seniuk. Alexander was hit as he threw, so the ball was short. He was looking for Cody Scott again, and Von Seniuk almost got his mitts on it.
He would have held up. If he would have held on to it, he would have made up for a lot of the mistakes he's made today. But still, great play.
3rd down, 13. We've got score updates, but I'll get to them after this play. Bunch formation to the left of Alexander. Single receiver to the right with Diaz in the backfield. Alexander, short drop, goes to the outside. That pass is caught by Scott. Scott to the 20. Scott to the 10. Dragging defenders to the 5. And down he goes there. Cody Scott. Oh my, he's continuing a great performance today.
See here, wide open. Don't know where 34 was. And that's it for that. Just get off me.
That was the safety, Eric Sutton. No, sorry, the corner, Eric Sutton. Not Seniuk. He wanted no part of that. He was on the other side of the field. I'm not even going to go to the score update. We're in the SFL, presented by APM Music Red Zone. Alexander stands at his own 10-yard line, goes to the goal line. He pushes across the middle, and it's a touchdown. Put it on the board. Elijah Swaim has his 2nd of the game, and the Gladiators strike with less than a minute to go in the 3rd.
Well deserved. Well deserved, St. Louis. Been applying the pressure on the Renegades all game. And finally, in the end zone.
And Parsons in the chat, here's your update on the London game. Fourth quarter, 9:08 to go. Carolina 10, London 3. Still anybody's game out over across the pond. Graham Northrup knocks the extra point through to make up for the field goal he missed earlier. And with 50 seconds to go in the third quarter, St. Louis 24, Oklahoma 13. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Elijah Swaim on that touchdown, just out muscling. There were two guys on him, couldn't bring him down.
It's all about who wants it more when it gets down there.
From the 10-yard line up to 20, 25, running left side, and up to the 28-yard line goes Brock Manley, and that's where he'll stay. OKC's looked a little bit out of sorts. They had a good most of the third quarter, but the last couple of minutes, the last couple of drives, the offense has kind of looked out of sync. What do you think's been going wrong for them?
I think it's just been a play calling issue. Like in the last drive, they ran the ball 3 times.
Nickens, an empty backfield, and Eisenhower in his face gets the pass away, and that pass is tipped in the air and it hits the turf. Deezer Powell was fighting for it there on the outside. And Colin Douglas said, no thank you. Second down and 10 now from the Oklahoma City 28-yard line. Bonkers in the backfield behind an under center, Deacon Nickens, one receiver each side with a tight end to the left. Four-man rush for the Gladiators. Out, and a great catch made out at the 44-yard line. That's Tiberius Bovine, only his third catch of the day. But this one's a big one. It moves the chains up towards midfield.
Against Sioux Falls last week, he had made a difference on the game early on, so maybe they need to go back to passing it to Bovine and get this offense started again.
Speaking of Sioux Falls, they've taken the lead with 3 minutes 41 to go against Atlanta. It's the Sparrows 12, the Swarm 10. Nickens back to pass, has to move to avoid the rush, and now he will go down. Back behind the 40-yard line, Scott LaRue makes the sack. That's the first time we've called his name tonight, but he makes an important play.
To continue on with what the Renegades are doing wrong now, it's being unable to contain the defensive line. They've had issues against the front seven all day long.
That's the end of the third quarter. It's an 11-point game, but the Renegades still have a shot. 11 minutes to go here from Budweiser Stadium in St. Louis. It's a great one. Stay with us. It'll be second down and 14 to start the fourth quarter. Heavy set left. Short drop for Nickens. Goes far side to Powell. That pass is hauled in. And excuse me, that wasn't Powell. That was Stephen Bush. And no, it wasn't hauled in. They say he was out of bounds. It didn't make the catch. So a third down and long coming up here. And they're going to challenge it, as I assumed they would.
I'm not sure I agree with this, Michael, but I don't think he had it in, but let's see.
It looked to me like he had it. He had the 1 foot that you need here in the SFL. Let's see. And, he definitely had that foot down.
After review, the pass has been ruled complete. The catch was made prior to going out of bounds. The Renegades will not...
And they did, in fact, say that he made the catch. So, instead of third down and 14, it'll be, I guess about, I don't know, third down and 8, 7, 8. So they get 6 yards out of it. Maybe opens up a little bit more of the playbook here on third down. Nickens back to pass. Pressure coming. He gets the pass away. It's picked off! Coming back the other way. Oh, man. Who got that one? It's 31. That's Nick Daggs. He's got the pick, and the Gladiators have the ball.
Kind of shaded their coverage there. At the beginning of the play, I was wondering, why are they shading one side heavily? And they were just masking their zone coverage perfectly, hit it underneath, and just stole the ball away.
I just watched that play back a little bit, and it looks like that ball was criminally underthrown by Deacon Nickens. He had a receiver well behind the defense. He just couldn't find him. First down and 10. Nick Diaz gets the ball on first down, and he rumbles forward for 5 yards off the left side.
Suppose we could just agree that it was a combination of both factors there.
I'll agree to that. 7 receptions for 166 yards for Cody Scott. That graphic also didn't mention that he has a touchdown. Short drop for Alexander. Pushed back by his own defender. He got the ball out in a one-handed catch made by Elijah Swaim. Hauling that one in against contact. He got about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2. So what do you do here on 3rd down and 2? Do you trust Diaz or do you try to go to the air? We'll find out in just a second. Alexander will go to Diaz, and Diaz gets stuffed. No gain on the play. 4th down and 2, and the Renegades hold.
Surprisingly, I was going to say that they were going to go in the air. With how Scott and Swain have been doing all day, I would continue to trust them. But I guess not.
So the Renegades will have another opportunity here with just under 9.5 minutes to go to get on the board as that ball is down to the 10, to the 5, and did he keep it out of the end zone? No. And the Renegades will start from their own 20-yard line.
For a second there, I almost thought he did. But he just took one extra step. And I was about to praise the special teams unit, but you can't be doing that.
Nickens has looked a little bit out of sorts here in the last 10 minutes. Let's see if he can get it together. Lead the Oklahoma City offense back in this game. He's under center here on first down from the 20-yard line. He has to move in the pocket. He throws it out to Bonkers. Bonkers is hit right at the line of scrimmage, and he won't get any farther than that. Colin Douglas makes an impressive solo tackle. He's got 6 on the day and an interception.
Earlier on, I was a bit wary about the Gladiators' shifts, but now it seems that they have Nickens all out of sorts with their combo coverage packages.
2nd down and 10. From the 20-yard line, Nickens will hand it off to Bonkers. He runs left side. Almost broke through, but a great tackle by Aiden Friday stopped his progress after 6 yards. Third down and 4. Important play here in the grand scheme of things because you got to want to keep the drive going if you're Oklahoma City. With 8 minutes, 28 to go and counting. Short drop for Nickens. Nickens put it to the far side. He's got a man wide open. Stephen Bush. Great route, great catch. And he moves the chains up to the 34-yard line.
One of the keys for the Renegades, if they want to come back in this game, is also time management. And that was a wonderful display of it right there. Getting the first down and going to the sticks.
Well, they say he didn't actually get out of bounds. The clock continues to roll down to 8 minutes, 10 to go. Long drop by Nickens. Pressure coming. You got the pass away, and that's tipped up in the air, and it's incomplete, intended for Geezer Powell. Again, Colin Douglas on the fantastic covering. Nickens on second down and 10, going deep across the middle into a crowd of green jerseys. Intended for Powell. That one is incomplete. Another update for you. 1 minute 42 to go. Atlanta 10, Sioux Falls 12. The Sparrows just missed a 35-yard field goal that would have made it a 5-point game. As it stands, the Swarm can still win with a field goal. We will keep you up to date on all the other scores going on around the SFL as you continue to watch this one. Third down and 10. Powell short drop. Short pass over the middle. That's caught by Bush, and he is wrapped up after a gain of 4 yards.
I feel as though in that case it was just a progression read. That was the only man open. Got to give it up to the Gladiators defense on shutting down the outside.
I'm going to give it back to the Gladiators and hope that their defense can get a quick, possibly 3 and out, or just hold them to no points. It's getting a little bit time crunchy now for the Renegades, as this punt is returned all the way up to the 27-yard line. D. Powell, SFL Director of Player Personnel, and Parsons, Aaron Arrington, Colin Northrup, Skyfire, Dwayne Schindler, and everybody else who's joined us this afternoon. We thank you for tuning into the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Alexander on first down, good pocket throws to the right side, and out of bounds was Nick Finch. He couldn't haul that pass in.
Second and 10 from your Gladiators, 27 yards.
Second down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Gladiators may be looking to put this game away as Diaz fights for as many yards as he can. He'll get 3. It'll be third down and 7 from the 30-yard line. We have another score update from across the pond. London has taken the lead with 2 minutes to go. Carolina 10, London 13. 13 unanswered points for the Knights as they look to win their second game in a row. Third down and 7 here for the Gladiators. High snap, corralled by Alexander. He's got pressure in his face. He gets the pass away. It's picked off at midfield. Coming back the other way is 43, Brady Clark. Brady Clark with the interception in his first SFL game. He might have just kept the Renegades in the ball game.
Another one of these new signings is coming up and showing out today. Just stood, waited, and knew it was coming, grabbed it, and just made his way.
We've got one game in the afternoon session that has gone final. Sioux Falls beats Atlanta 12-10. The Swarm missed a game-winning 32-yard field goal that hit the right post. Agony for the Swarm, who've now dropped 2 straight. Deacon Nickens now. From the St. Louis 34-yard line, gives it on bunkers, and there's nowhere to run. He'll lose a yard back to the 34.
I feel like some of these debut players have been doing pretty well today so far.
Yeah, the 2 players we've got today, Nick Finch. He's had a couple of good catches, moved the sticks a few times. And then Brady Clark just got his first SFL interception. Nickens, plenty of time, throws into double coverage, and it hits the turf. Aaron Arrington almost got that one. And it's third down at 11. Very quickly, the Renegades under pressure again.
It's almost as if we just say one single word, we bring it into existence.
Got to convert here on third down and long. With just over 6 minutes to go, you're down by 11. Nickens Throws past the sticks. It's tipped and intercepted. Aaron Arrington coming back the other way. He'll make the 25-yard line. And that, I don't know, I'm not going to say that's going to seal it, but that's going to go a long way towards helping the Gladiators win this game.
This game has been wild and has been one of those anything you can do, I can do better games.
Nick Daggs tapped it out of the air perfectly into the hands of Aaron Arrington. Great teamwork there on the coverage, and he'll give the ball back to the Gladiators offense. And Ethan Alexander, who hands to Diaz on first down. He's running the long way back to the 20-yard line. And down at the 21-yard line he goes. A loss of 4 on the play. Eric Sutton came up and made the tackle.
I don't think that was entirely his fault. It's just that he had no cutback lane. He was trying to look for something to do and had nowhere to go.
Fourth quarter, 3:36 to go. Queen City 17, Tallahassee 31. Coming down to the end there in that game. Alexander throws over the middle. That pass is complete into a crowd of white jerseys. Caught by Tito Moss, the non-contract wide receiver, his first catch of the day. Ethan Alexander is 9 yards away from 300, and the way this game is going, he'll probably get it. All that matters right now is the next 5 on this play for the Gladiators. Alexander with plenty of time. He unloads, and it's picked back off. Coming the other way again. It's 31. Al Clint, the safety. First time I've called his name today. And it's another pick. Back and forth they go.
This one was just a case of an underthrown ball, probably due to the pressure he was under. And what a wonderful catch there.
Great athletic catch, sets up Oklahoma City at the 26-yard line. This is 2 times in a row that Oklahoma City's been set up inside the St. Louis half due to an interception. The first time they couldn't really do anything with it. Let's see what Deacon Nickens and company will do this time. Nickens will drop back, pressure in his face. He got the ball. Wait, it's intercepted again. Going back the other way. Aaron Arrington, 50, 40. He's got Geezer Powell chasing him, 20, 15, 10, 5. He will be down at the 1-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Aaron Arrington, his second interception in about 5 or 6 plays, and he almost takes this one 80 yards to the house.
Ian Nickens throws a poor ball to straight to Arrington, and if it wasn't for Powell turning on the Jets there, we would have been celebrating a touchdown.
We might still be here in a minute, as it's 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Offset eye with Diaz in the backfield behind Alexander. Alexander gives to Diaz. He runs left side and he scores. Put it on the board. Touchdown, St. Louis Gladiators. They've extended their lead. Diaz does a dance. And it may all be over but the crying here in the gateway to the West.
I will say that most of this has been because Deacon Nickens has not been able to hold on to the ball, which has been his issue these 3 weeks.
We have a game going to overtime. Carolina and London tied at 13. As Graham Northrup puts the extra point up and through. 4 minutes, 39 to go in the ball game. St. Louis 31, Oklahoma City 13. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. St. Louis came out to play today, and they've been capitalizing on all the little mistakes of the Oklahoma City Renegades, both on offense and defense. From the 10-yard line, out to the 20, 25, bounces off his own man and gets to the 28-yard line.
As I've said earlier, it's all about who wants it more, and it looks like the Gladiators have the desire and the willpower to make it in the Central.
Last year, excuse me, last year I watched a decent amount of Gladiator games, and they just, for most of the season, they just look pretty listless, and it's just been completely the opposite here this season as Nickens throws a pass out to Powell, and Powell gets 7 yards. You've seen a team which kept a lot of the same players, but they've got a lot more drive in them. They're playing with a lot of energy, and it's translated to a win and now possibly 2 wins in the first 3 weeks.
They really wanted to show up Chicago the first week and came up to play. Almost had a decent game the second game. Had a bit of a mistake. Had a little... We'll continue this later.
Nickens under pressure. Down he goes. Back at the 26-yard line. Loss of about 7. It'll be 3rd down and 12. And another sack for the Gladiators front line. Nickens now. 3rd and 12. Floats it out past the sticks. That pass is broken up. Great play there by Nick Daggs. Working along with Knowles to knock down that pass. So you were saying before that play happened?
I was saying they had a little bit of a hold up with Indianapolis when they just had one too many mistakes there, but they've been able to capitalize on all of the Renegades ones in this game so far.
Nickens out towards Powell. Powell makes the catch in double coverage and moves the chains. Working down towards 4 minutes to go in the ball game, the Renegades go up tempo. Nickens takes the high snap, looking near side. That pass is complete to Jalen Hurd. He gets 8 yards. They're going to still go up tempo here. The ball resting at midfield. 3 minutes 45 and counting. Nickens looks over the middle. That pass is tipped away by Friday. Aiden Friday with a big play to stop the clock and the momentum. As we wind down the action in the afternoon session here on the SFL Network, we just got to remind you what's coming up the rest of week 3. And after this play, I'll get it to you. Nickens back to pass. Plenty of time, but he still got hit as he threw it into the ground in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of the field. Scott LaRue is actually the closest player to it. He's a Gladiator. At 5, sorry, I'll make my, go ahead and make your point.
So that's been the case for him all day. I think he's just way too rattled right now.
4th down and 2. They've got to go for it to keep the dream alive with 3 minutes 35 to go. Nickens drops back. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws downfield, and it's caught! It's caught by Tiberius Bovine! Down to the St. Louis 25-yard line, and the drive continues for the Renegades. Nickens throws out to Bonkers, and Bonkers gets out of bounds without gaining a yard. Coming up at 5 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, it's the Alaska Storm hosting the San Antonio Vaqueros, and the San Francisco Sharks hosting the Vancouver Legion. At 7 p.m. on Twitch, it's the game of the week. Indianapolis, who currently two teams that currently lead the Central Division, Indianapolis and Tulsa, face off in Oklahoma with Cameron Irvine and Stephen Mullinax on the call. And Nickens, and he goes down. Nickens, there's nowhere to throw to. Another sack. Clock running down towards 3 minutes to go. Nickens, he's pressured again as he throws. Got it to Bonkers, and Bonkers will not make it past the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 12. Wow, what a disastrous sequence for the Oklahoma City offense. One more game for you. They're going to try about 45-yard field goal. And the kick is on the way, and it's right down Main Street. Great kick from Johnny Omega, who still hasn't missed one today. The score with 2 minutes 28 remaining in the game. It's the Gladiators 31, the Renegades 17. One more game for you on Monday night on Twitch.tv. It's a rematch of the SFL Championship game as Mexico travels to Mexico travels to Chicago. Chris Curtis and Alvin Washington will have the call. The onside kick is fielded and grabbed by the Renegades at the 39-yard line, and that will just about do it with 2:27 to go.
To continue about that matchup between Mexico and Chicago, who would have thought that the loser of that game would go 0-3 for the season?
Certainly not me. The overtime game between London and Carolina has gone final. The London Knights now have won their last 2 games as Diaz goes up the middle, gets nothing. And the clock continues to run, 2:20 to go and counting. The London Knights come back from being down 10-0 to win 16-13 in overtime. And the Tallahassee Pride pull away from the Queen City Corsairs and win this one in a blowout, 38-17. We've hit the 2-minute warning here. From St. Louis, it's the Gladiators all over the Renegades, 31-16. This is the SFL Network presented by APM Music.
The expansion teams have really been showing up this season, haven't they?
They really have. Like, Indianapolis is 2-0. Tulsa is 2-0. Who am I missing?
London.
San Francisco. London is going to be 2-1. Now is 2-1 as up the middle goes Diaz, and Oklahoma City calls their first time out. London is now 2-1. The only real bad apple of the bunch is San Francisco. They're 0-2, but they can rectify that with a win tonight over Vancouver. Third down at 11 now for Alexander. Here's going to be a quarterback draw. Wow. 2 yards and another timeout burned. They're pulling out all the stops here in St. Louis. The crowd's fired up about Alexander just taking that one up the middle. I love it.
Hey, when you're ahead by this much, you can do what you want.
Punts upcoming here from Jack Kissinger. He's been good tonight. A couple of times he's pinned the Renegades down deep in their own zone. And look to do it again here. Punt gets away from the 50-yard line. Bounces to the 10. Oh, it deflected off the hands of the defender. That was Sheldon Morant, the backup corner playing special teams duty, and he could have downed that inside the 5, but it just sort of bounced off his hands. Maybe it looked like it hit his knee and rolled into the end zone.
This is the second time he botched one of those today.
Maybe look at replacing him on the special teams unit to come next week. Nickens throws over the middle, complete to Deezer Powell. 8 yards, second down and 2. The Renegades have 1 timeout left. The clock is at 1:30. Powell, with 2 Gladiators in the backfield, got the pass away for a first down up to the 35-yard line. Nickens throws over the middle. That pass is tipped, and it would have found the hands of Powell if not for the quick thinking and brilliant play of Colin Douglas. He's been all over the place tonight.
He's shown amazing awareness, being that far away. Actually, and athleticism, with being that far away from the play to still take his arm and reach out and grab it. Well, tip it.
Second down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Clock stops with 1:17 to go. Nickens over the middle, and he floated it out there in about quadruple coverage towards Stephen Bush, and it will fall to the turf incomplete. Third down and 10 now from the Oklahoma City 35, 1:12 to go. Nickens under center. Takes the snap. Oh, there was a man in the backfield almost immediately, and it forces another interception. Arrington, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He scores. Put it on the board. Touchdown, Gladiators. Nail in the coffin. Icing on the cake. There you go, Aaron Arrington. You've got your touchdown.
See, and I think that's it for this ball game, folks.
The replay didn't show it, but I'm trying to find on my lineup card who the nose tackle is for the Gladiators. Can't find it, but he was in the backfield in less than half a second. It looked like he vaulted over the center for Oklahoma City. That's Dalton Otto. He looked like he just vaulted over Otto's head. He was into the backfield before Nickens even got the snap, as Graham Northrup knocks the extra point through. It's 38-16 with 1:02 to go.
Speaking of the center, Otto, he's been involved in quite some strange plays today. Recovering a fumble and then just getting eaten up by the line all day.
I gotta say, it might have been Manny Eisenhower. Just with the game he's had, I wouldn't put it past him to force another big play. From the 10 up to the 20 goes Manley. Manley at the 30 and wrestles down there. Under a minute to go, and this one has gotten all sorts of out of hand for the Renegades.
Between Eisenhower and Arrington, I'm having a hard time finding a player of the game here. And, you know, the quarterback as well for the Gladiators. It's pretty hard for me. There's Clark.
I might actually give it to Colin Douglas. He had a pick, a couple of knockdowns. He's been really good all night, as that pass goes to the far side, complete to Stephen Bush for 5 yards.
And there's still Clark and Swaim on offense as well.
Mm-hmm. And Cody Scott as well, a wide receiver, making big plays all game. Really hard to find one player that stood out. Second down and 5, 54 seconds to go. Nickens goes short to Bonkers, and Bonkers will get 1 yard, third down and 4.
As for the Renegades, I just feel like I want to give it to Bonkers for that one long run.
Nickens across the middle looking for Powell, who dives but can't get there. Johnny Knock, the backup free safety. And I guess all the second and third string players are on the field now for the Gladiators, just getting some reps. This game is well and truly out of reach.
As I said earlier, if you're ahead by this much, do as you wish.
38 seconds to go, fourth down and 4 for the Renegades from their own 36-yard line. They've got to go for it. Maybe just looking to save some grace. And, oh, it was floated up there as he got hit, and it was caught. What a crazy play there. It's hauled in by Jalen Hurt past the sticks. It's a first down for the Renegades. Nickens got that pass away as he was falling down, being hit from behind.
I feel like if it was Eisenhower, though, that play would have ended there.
As you said, probably the second and third string players on the field for the Gladiators. Nickens across the middle. That pass is complete out past the 50 all the way to the 44-yard line. It looked like maybe Tiberius Bovine there on the catch. I couldn't really tell.
It was.
All right, Tiberius Bovine on the catch. And clock ticking down, 15 seconds to go. Nickens will just unload it to the far side. That pass is complete to Stephen Bush, and he'll go out of bounds. Stop the clock, 9 seconds to go. Tiberius Bovine, 120 yards on the day and a touchdown. He's had a pretty impressive day, although quiet for most of it.
With this game, how it started, I would almost expected a shootout, but only one team put up.
We had a touchdown for either side within the first minute of the game. And as this game ticks down to 0, let's Levant, your final thoughts on your game today.
Well, what looked to be a shootout early on turned out to be an unexpected blowout. Mostly because of a huge difference in the turnover differential.
Where do you both see these teams going forward? And more importantly for Oklahoma City, they're now 0-3. What's the next step for them?
Might have to look into what to do about their quarterback situation going forward. Not necessarily, obviously, not replacing him. Go ahead.
No, I said Nickens. Rifles, it's the end zone. It's incomplete, but there's still 1 second on the clock. There will be one more play. So continue about Oklahoma City.
We're going to need to find a game plan that best suits Nickens in the future and potentially do something about this offensive line situation.
Nickens goes deep again to the end zone. Intercepted. That will do it. The clock hits 0. The Gladiators pull off an impressive 38-16 win over the Oklahoma City Renegades. Your final stats will be scrolling across the screen. For me, I'm Michael Trillo. My partner was Levant Mercer. Mike Daggs was so gracious enough to stream the game for us today. From Budweiser Stadium in St. Louis, this is Michael Trillo saying, see you next time.